Alright, time for another draft physics. Yeah, that's what it is. Debatephysics.com also. Draftphysics.com. Anyway, draft science here on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. You don't really need to know all that crap. Well, you probably do need to know it because, frankly, everybody's an imbecile. There was some kind of body snatcher virus thing or something, and everybody on Earth turned into an imbecile. Except for me. I must have been inside that day. Anyway, it's just so bad. So I'll read some of these stupid, moronic, useless, waste of time comments. I already deleted a few. And then maybe we'll play an Ian Gosling video where he talks about what he thinks of me. How interesting. So I deliberately, I'm trying to get him just to make his videos proving his theory. That levers are full of shit and whatever his theory is. Hard to say what it is. He's clearly a defender of 1/2 mv squared, even though he has absolutely no reason to believe in it, except they do, so he does. But anyway, he has no personal experience with it, I'm sure. I'm sure he's never seen 25 times the fuel to go 5 times as fast, I'm sure. But anyway, so he has no reason to believe it. He just believes it because I don't. Yeah. Anyway, so this brilliant person comes up with daft science. There, I fixed it. Gee, it's just. Amazing that people would even type stuff so tripey. Fuck. Alright, so, hey Gary, this video came up in my feed and I thought, is that in Mendham? And it seems it is you. Yeah, hope you are well. Nice to see you keeping up the good work. Peace. Yeah, whatever. Random gibberish. Yeah, whatever. So, I don't know. I don't remember whatever this is. Puribrand. Yeah, so, no, I don't remember you. But anyway, whatever. So, he didn't pay attention to my other channel much, and now he pays very little attention to this one. And he just likes to recognize me. Okay, fine. So I titled the last video is what do you need to see? So what kind of evidence do I actually have to what experiment would prove it to you retards? Which one do I have to do? Which one will work? If I put a thermometer in a ballistic pendulum, let's say I paid some place to do it for $1,000 and the thermometer said 2 joules, way short of the 1900. What would that do it? Well, what exactly do you have to do? All right, anyway. The one mass vehicle going 10 velocity would not win the collision. So why wouldn't it? If it has twice as much energy, why wouldn't it win? If the 8-pound bowling ball has twice as much energy, why can't it knock down twice as many pins? Where is the energy? Okay. Except that it would cause more crushing. So you have no evidence, right? So you're not going to show me that. Now, the Mythbusters did some of these experiments, just a fact. And the basic truth is that the opposing force, an opposing force hitting you, can't really make you crush more. All right. It's just, you can't crush more than the same amount that you would crush, okay, if you hit a brick wall, if the other object doesn't have more momentum than you. So it has to have more momentum than you for it to crush you more. That's where the energy goes. So where? So you have zero experimental evidence. So you're just making a claim that's been made for 300 years without any evidence. And I'm supposed to say what to that? Bulb head. So it's not, you didn't explain the ballistic pendulum. You didn't explain why water wheels don't work. How do you get around the water argument? It's so decisive. You can double the kinetic energy of the water just by confining it. Just giving it half the amount of space to go through, and you will double its energy by your theory. You can't figure out how that's really stupid? Fuck. Anyway. I don't know about the Mythbusters crushing cars, but how did they measure? It's just the simple thing, right? They crush a car at 50 miles an hour into a brick wall. Then they crash a car at 100 miles an hour, same car and same make of car, into a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. And they don't crush 4-to-1, it's just 2-to-1. Then they did some of it with clay. Anyway. The amount of crushing work, so fuck you. Okay, the square second in the unit of acceleration is not the reason for squared velocity and kinetic energy. Well, you say it isn't. Seems kind of obvious that where else would it come from, fucktard? Oh, fuck you. I mean, this is just such... You're getting so tiresome. This is such nonsense arguments. Alright, it's just a unit. And this is on the video. It's titled, What Do You Need to See? So, again, if the ballistic pendulum actually moved, okay, if it collected more than 0.5% of the kinetic energy, it would end up having more momentum than the bullet that went in. You think that's possible? That someday I could make a ballistic pendulum that would collect 1.5% of the kinetic energy and make free momentum? Fuck you. It's not an equation or a formula. Fuck you. Just a unit. There's no fucking such thing as just a unit. It's always 60 miles per 1 hour. It's 1 fucking hour, cunt. It's not no hours. Oh, you're just such lying pieces of goddamn raggy shit. Is exactly the same as meters per second, 1 second. So a second squared is exactly the same as meters per second, per 1 second. That's his argument. And it's fucking idiotic. Any number I put in there for the number of seconds, you're going to end up squaring it. Do you understand that 2 times 2 is 4? Fuck, 2 times 1 is 2. Do you get it, fucktard? Jesus, I just hate these guns. Anyway, if you want to do I don't want to do experiments. Fuck you in the ass. I'm expecting your physics that you claim everybody has to believe or you'll insult them. I'm asking you to show me a fucking experiment. God damn, you're such weasels. Crash 1 mass object going 2 velocity and a 2 mass object going 1 velocity. Well, there you go. Why hasn't your physics done these experiments? Why? Just explain it to me. Why haven't you done them? Why hasn't your physics done these experiments? Okay, into a spring and show they cause the same spring compression. This has been done and it doesn't work like that. Well, where has it been done? Show me the link. Show me the experiment. Please. Show me how levers lie. Show me the experiment where the lever is a liar because this is true. Oh, you're just such a piece of shit. Okay, or just collide a lighter object elastically into a heavier object. And what does elastic mean to you? With a spring on it? Yeah, okay. And show that the momentum magnitude is conserved and not the traditional vector momentum. It's already been done, okay? The Professor Lewin did it by accident, right in front of everybody. So he was supposed to have a collision where they stuck because of a piece of Velcro. Clearly it bounced. He even said the word, it bounced. And when it bounced, what did it record? It recorded the 2 mass going less than half the speed, okay? And the bouncing object leaving with some whatever the rest that was left over, clearly. And that's it. No fucking free momentum. And then again, I'm not going through all the clay crap again. Alright, this has been done and it doesn't work like that. So you can keep saying it, liar. Post your fucking links and I'll debunk it. So post a fucking link to your fake, phony, fraud experiments and I'll point out why physicists, smart people, should be able to figure out why this isn't a very good experiment. Free momentum is a really stupid idea, fucktard. Okay. I mean, you really can't figure out how, if there was such a thing as putting 100 in and getting 150 or 200 out, that somebody would capitalize on that by now, retard. Oh, fuck. R uses spring to launch a one mass object and two mass object and show that the one mass object gains twice the velocity. So where has this, he says this has been done and it doesn't work like that. So, okay, I'm just telling you, you have to post the links next time you post or I'm blocking you. This is just bullshit to say you have this evidence when, and no, you don't. Liar. Fucking liar. So I won't hide you yet, but fuck you, liar. Oh, another comment by the liar. So this is on argument number 4. Oh no, this is the one he already posted. Yeah, fuck it, I'm just going to get rid of that one. Alright. Springs, no, we're not doing that one. We already did that one. I know you say that the collision with the box is supposed to be inelastic. I'm just not going to keep arguing you with a year-old video. I mean, just go fuck yourself. Alright, I mean, this principle is simple enough. Alright, I spell out the ground rules. Do I actually have to build the simulation? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, yeah, you're pretty much done here. Anyway, but is it really possible in practice? Do you think that the particles would vibrate while still not completely deforming the box? Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to think the box has to deform. I don't think we have to believe electrons deform. So, fuck you. I know this is hypothetical, but you still have to maintain realism. Well, where are you doing any of that? So, yeah, you're near getting blocked. This is just such bullshit. What's your fucking point? I mean, how is this proving the existence of kinetic energy in any way whatsoever? I mean, the argument about what elemental force is, okay, you don't even know what an electron and proton are. I've simulated them. So I really don't need your bullshit. Alright, so the lost beetle. Alright, now we left off with me saying to you, why don't you type this shit on Simon Dan's videos? That's where you came from, okay? Let's not deny it. You watched that crap, that stupid flat earth debunking shit, okay? And you came here to see what the controversy was, and you started talking shit to me, all right? That's the real history. And my simple argument to you is I don't need your agreement with me. I really, it's not of much value. The whole problem is you got to get them, okay, them to be responsible and accountable. I already understand the concept. I don't run away from fights. All right. See, the responses is just convincing me more and more that you are right. A lot of attacking you and no hardline, supportive, tangible evidence, just equations. Well, they aren't even rational equations. Look at that last guy's. Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah. Per second per 1 second is the same as second squared. But you should just forget the 1 is there altogether. Fuck the 1. Yeah, we don't need that. It doesn't mean anything. No, I mean, just fuck. Alright. I previously just thought kinetic energy was time-based acceleration, deceleration. Well, I obviously had the same impression when they said kinetic energy when I was a kid. I just thought they meant, oh yeah, it's momentum, but just, it's happening now. It's exciting momentum. I didn't realize they had some wacky formula. So yeah, I had no idea of the preposterous exaggerations they were doing. Fast versus slow, that was my understanding of it through personal observation and life experience. Some same totality of energy, just faster or slower. Yes, that sort of was my concept. Kinetic energy to me has been stuff like putting a wrench on a seized nut or bolt and striking the wrench comparatively lightly to shock it with success when pulling it slowly with all my might failed. So again, I'll just go back to the karate thing, right? I remember being a kid and being, they used to have these little performance art bullshit you'd have to go to, these assemblies. And one of them was some dopey karate school presentations. They had a bunch of little moron kids in little white bathrobes breaking boards. And, and then the chief master broke the concrete. And yeah, clearly you could understand, it's not, it's about how you hit it, okay? It's not like, they were actually creating more energy, like they had big muscles or something. All right, fast wasn't more, it was just different. I've gone through life without knowledge of the actual equation, and if I ever knew they were, implying energy was just supposedly being created and immediately dispersing, that no test has been able to collect or prove, I would have been very intrigued, because that should be impossible. Well, the fact that it isn't conserved in all these basic experiments, all right? Again, if the 5 mass car going 10 velocity, and I add the 5 mass to it, if they collected more than half the energy, the kinetic energy, they'd have to make free momentum. So that's the joke of it, right? You can only conserve the momentum if you stay under 50% of the kinetic energy. As soon as you collect more than 50%, then you have free momentum. So, I mean, obviously, it's just stupid. You could never do better than 50%, ever. All right. Has been collected, prove, impossible. Better to learn late than never, I guess. All right, so, yeah, so, okay, good. So you have a little bit of understanding, but like I said, it goes so deep because all of the physics is just as bad as this. This 1/2 mv squared thing, yeah, that's just, okay, they got energy wrong, but they got everything wrong. Got space wrong, they got time wrong, they got, the whole thing is a big pile of mushy, silly, unevidenced crap. All of it. Because every time they had a choice, rational answer, silly unicorn shit, they went for the fucking glittery unicorn shit. The scientific community likes things to remain established. Well, I don't even know what that means, but yes, everybody likes their habits. And clearly they don't like having to admit, ooh, we were all fools. Yeah, they don't want to have to admit, whoops. Boy, I should have noticed that, huh? That was really dopey that I didn't notice there was no evidence. Okay, they don't want the boat rocked. No, they don't want to look stupid. And frankly, to have to admit that they didn't notice, that they didn't have any evidence for their theory, would make them look pretty stupid. All right. This is reminding me of the open hostility I see towards Kobalagaki Taipi by the anthropological institutions. So apparently, what, this is some dopey fossil or something? There seems to almost be a contempt of its mere existence. Oh, I don't know. So, you're just saying now you're going to talk some flat earth crap. Fuck. Like they would have been happier had it never been discovered. I wonder what the fuck it is. You shall not rock the boat and challenge established facts. So what established fact is being challenged? So you don't believe in evolution or something? God. Yeah, you're really irritating me. Alright, you don't realize that there are air track experiments that prove your model right. Do you realize? I realize that every time you don't exchange change the masses, that all those experiments come out right for both sides, but and clearly I'm arguing that the air track experiments actually do come out my way when they don't cheat. So when you don't smear clay on it, it comes out my way. The case where they prove you right is only when both carts move in the same direction after the collision. No, the one that also proves me right is the one where you just bump it into it, and it, yeah, it proves me right too. Again, it's on one of my videos. Okay, just look up Professor Lewin, and in a couple of the videos I actually show the fact that he did the experiment twice in the same lecture, essentially. And one version of the experiment where he's doing it on purpose comes out his way, and then the other version of the experiment where he's not fucking with it, oh yeah, it doesn't come out anything like his way. And the carts are clearly fundamentally different. Same idea, 2-to-1 ratio, and yet when you look at the carts, the ones in the one experiment have all kinds of crap all over them. Alright. Because they, according to conventional science, have to add both momenta together. So again, you can keep saying this shit, and again, I'm going to argue it's shit. So until I see somebody do it, look, physicist Michael said he was going to do the experiment, the big pendulum. And again, your argument is just so silly. You're actually sitting here going to defend the idea that I can theoretically put 100 momentums in, hit an object 10 times heavier, and get 199 out. So it now has 199 momentums going this way. So I doubled the fucking momentum. And I got a reflection back this way of 100% almost, 99. You think that's fucking realistic shit? You think that happens in reality? Fuck you, you're an idiot. So in the case, momentum is conserved in both your model and conventional science's model. So yeah, but it's only the case where you combine the two, right? So when the two stick together, obviously there's no way around that except in the version where you hit a 1 into a 1, and now you have a 2 mass, and they say it has half the energy. So how do you explain that? That's going in the same direction. I crash a 1 mass going 2 velocity into a 1 mass. I now have a 2 mass going 1/2 velocity. Well, it started with 2, so I now 1 velocity. And your argument is lost half the kinetic energy. How is that conserving the kinetic energy when you lost half of it? So you're not even getting this right. You're creating this fake narrative that there's some experiment where both are conserved, when nowadays they're not both conserved. Alright, however, with one of the carts moving in opposite directions after collision, according to conventional science, you have to subtract the momentum. We've been through all this already. For 2 fucking years, asshole. And so it's about you actually producing good experimental evidence. So until that happens, this is just talk. Alright, according to you, you also have to add both. I'm saying energy is always positive. There's no unenergy, there's no anti-energy. So yeah, you're stuck with it. And I've used the example, the obvious Newton's cradle one. I can let 2 steel balls hit each other, and they'll bounce off of each other. No problem. They don't get hot. They don't do anything silly. I have 100, I have 100. 100, 200 went in, 200 comes out. If I let them smash together, but they can't release, they can't leave, they'll burn a piece of paper. Because they're going to get hot. The energy has to go somewhere. It can't cancel. There's no fucking such thing as a cancel. So if you're going to tell me that 150 can come in this way and 50 can come in this way, total of 200, they can collide and then 100 pops out and there's no heat here, I'm saying fuck you. And if there is heat here, I'm saying fuck you, because you're not going to get the same thing to pop in again. It's not an oscillator with the same amount of energy. You can't change how much energy is in an oscillator. Okay. Since this proves you wrong over and over, so that didn't happen, lying piece of shit. So let's see what else he says. According to you, you also have to add both momenta. Since it proves you wrong over and over, that's a lie. Again, a water wheel proves you wrong over and over. The ballistic pendulum proves you wrong over and over. The lever proves you wrong over and over. You now say that the extra momento is stored in the wheels. It's just a fact. You don't understand the fact that if you give a cart momentum, linear momentum, and has heavy steel wheels, that its linear momentum won't be... you can't know how much more energy the wheels will impose when you hit a surface. So when you hit a surface, you're not going to have just the linear momentum. You're going to have all the energy that was stored in the wheels. That's an absolute physical fact, idiot. All right. Oh yeah, people are just too damn stupid. Since it proves you wrong over and over and over, but extra momentum stored in the wheels or the extra energy added by the air track. So you don't understand that argument either? I built one. Okay, so I did. I built an air track and I analyzed. I studied it a bit. And that's exactly what I noticed. Is that depending on how they hit, how they move when they hit. Okay, if the cart, I was using a round tube over another round tube, so all the air was coming from the bottom up, and if it tilted this way, it acted as a jet engine. It just gave it extra momentum. That's all I had to do was tilt it, a little tilt, and more air came out this side than came out the other side. Obviously that's thrust. So yeah, not a difficult to understand argument. And then again, we don't have to even do that argument because Professor Lewin has the expensive air track, less likely to have those kind of issues. It's expensive, heavy, well made, and so he couldn't get to work that way. And the only way he could rig the experiment was to change the weights of the carts, and I showed that. Let's see, what are you going to say about the scenario where both carts move in the same direction after the collision and prove your model right? So I don't even know what that question does. It mean anything? Are those good experiments or also flawed? I don't understand why you're saying it proved me right when it clearly does exactly that. It proves me right and proves kinetic energy's bullshit because you lost half the kinetic energy. How do you explain that? I've obviously already used the experiment. I don't know what experiment you're talking about. 5 mass cart moving, it bangs into another 5 mass cart. It's now a 10 mass cart going half the velocity. Where haven't I already used it? I mean, god damn, you're stupid. Otherwise, that'd be very strange. Only in the case where one of the carts move in the opposite direction that these flaws would occur. And I'm saying clearly you can just watch Professor Lewin do the experiment by accident, okay, and it comes out exactly as I predict. And then there's another version of the experiment done by a high school teacher where she's not doing it on purpose either, and yet comes out my way. But when they move in the same direction, it's fine. Well, it just happens when they're forcing the experiment, it comes out their way. When they do it by accident, it doesn't come out their way. So, oh, what a coincidence. So, fuck you. Alright, sorry to disappoint you, but no, momentum is not energy, so whatever that even means. I mean, clearly, the word energy doesn't, again, it's impotent energy. You don't even know, you can't even understand the concept of energy. It has to actually be able to do work. If it can't do work, then it's useless. Momentum clearly does work. So fuck you. And it can be easily demonstrated, period. By your claim dropping a bowling ball from twice the height, so it would be in the gravity 1.25 seconds, must necessarily make it move at twice the velocity. Why would that be true? Clearly, everybody knows I'm arguing for it's a time-dependent force. Obviously, if I drop it from twice the height, it won't take twice the time to fall, you dumbass. It'll take a little tiny bit more than 1 unit of time. Dumbass. Oh, God, what an idiot. So this is the best they can do. Okay. Anyway, try it. Try it and observe what your assertion was wrong. So you're obviously the one who is wrong. False premise, false accusations, false, fake, phony. Really bad physics. So just keep doing really bad physics right in front of everybody so I can make my argument that people don't care about the truth, you don't care about science. You'll just contrive any kind of lie and nonsense in defense of your religion. And that's all it is a religion. Alright. Well, I guess I can take a little break and then we'll go to Ian Gosling. Ooh. Alright, so there he is, the moron. Anyway, the idiot, the fucktard, the liar, frankly. Okay. So, no, what I'd like him to do is go through all his crappy, shitty videos and tell me which one he thinks proves the existence of kinetic energy. Shows an undeniable evidence that this 1/2 mv squared is right and levers are retarded. Balances are stupid because they don't know what real energy is. Okay, so anyway. So he says, what do you think about DraftScience? Obviously seems a little pissed off. So this will just be a useless rant, no doubt, but whatever. Jarhead.
I apologise to
Okay. Well, that's nice of you to apologize.
my viewers for what will unfold, because if you watch any of my back catalogue, you can see how polite I am, the English way.
Whatever. What we can see is you leave videos up where you make a grotesque error. You say something you know yourself that isn't true, and you leave the video up where you're claiming something that's clearly not true and just deceiving little children and whatnot for no good reason. There's just no good reason for you not to concede, oh, I made a mistake, fuck that. Why don't you just concede you made a mistake and say, fuck that video. Let's all forget it. Why don't you do that? I just don't understand why. What's your resistance to getting rid of the videos where you've corrected yourself? Where you know you made a mistake in the video? Wouldn't that be the rational thing to do? Especially when you're doing experimental videos claiming stuff. Shouldn't you clean it up?
Dear Gary this, dear Gary that, please this, please that.
Whatever.
And that's how I believe we should carry on.
We'll get to it. I don't think we should carry on with Gary this or Ian this or Ian that or any of that shit. As stated, just go ahead, make your crappy experiments. Don't use my name, and I won't use your name. And I'll just say, look, here's another crappy experiment done by somebody, and it's just crap. He didn't get this right. He didn't measure that right. We can't even see, half the experiment.
But sometimes you've had enough. You've reached your limit, and I've reached my limit now.
Charming. Oh, surprising. Oh. And what are you going to do about it? Pile some more junk up in your garage? Right, it's his basement.
If ever the world saw a more piece of crap than that long-haired fucking layabout hippie.
So whatever that is, right? So, I have absolutely zero hippie habits, okay? I'm actually don't do any kind of hippie stuff at all, okay? It's just not my thing.
The fucking basement.
And you're in a basement. Yeah, so it's just kind of funny, right? It's just priceless. The basement dweller insulting the basement dweller.
Where the back of beyond pontificating his hatred of the world and hatred of humanity.
Yes.
Calling me a fucking moron.
Yes, because you're a perfect example of what humans have become. Lying, deceptive, scheming, crappy, shitty, no integrity jackasses. You're just showing no integrity. I've clearly made 30 arguments against kinetic energy, and they're all damn good arguments, and you've paid zero attention. And then even when you do the experiment and you get the results that are perfectly consistent with my argument, you sit there and pretend, hey, everything's okay. It's just the way we wanted it. No, we're decisively proven wrong, but, we win.
And others that could fucking blow him out of the water with this fucking grey matter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sure. I see lots of really brilliant simulations. I see them analyzing. Let's go back to Fucktarsian Brozo. Thinking that Lenz's law has something to do with photons.
And he calls us morons.
I've called you liars and cheaters and shitheads and all of that crap. That's right. You suck. You have no integrity as a human being.
If I could fucking reach... You're fucking lucky I don't live in the same fucking country as you.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'm that afraid of you, fucktard. So go ahead. You know, spit across the line. You know, I'm not afraid of you, fucker.
Boy, I'd be knocking on your fucking door. If I could reach across the fucking...
Yeah, ooh. You know, I'm probably like 6 feet taller than you. Jesus. Hilarious.
I'd like to get your scrawny fucking neck and bust it just like that. You're a piece of scum.
Yeah. Well.
Piece of absolute fucking...
Yeah, well, look, the understanding is mutual, okay? I mean, if you're an example of human, I'm embarrassed. I'm just fucking embarrassed.
Scum. I beat you spiritually, morally.
Whatever spiritually is, right there, you already lost the argument. So we already know this is your motivation. You're some sort of crackhead religious kookball. You got some sort of fucking weirdo fucking Puro beliefs or something.
Physically and mentally.
You can't do any of those things. You couldn't even like get up and down. You couldn't like bend over and then stand up again with the spring experiment. Remember, he was out of breath, just kneeling and getting up again. That had him panting.
Fucking way, I'd fucking beat you. You absolute fucking tosspot. I can't even fucking understand a simple fucking argument.
There's no simple fucking argument. You put the weights on the fucking thing, okay? There was no reason to put them where you put them. It doesn't work that way. I clearly explained why it does. It's just like a wheel balancing. I can't put the two weights that I'm gonna balance a wheel, right? This isn't hard to figure out, right? You got a wheel. You can't balance it by putting 5 mass over here and a 5 mass over here. They have to be in line with the center of the wheel. Again, you can't. You're the one who's just too ignorant of all these concepts, and you don't learn anything. I mean, you should have figured this out a long time ago. We talked about levers. We went through all this 3 kinds of levers: above, middle, and below. How they each function differently, and then you go ahead and pretend that yours is a balance when it's not a balance.
You make a fucking foxy, fucking up.
So I'm sorry. I shouldn't enjoy this. Okay. Guilty pleasure. I'm sorry you're upset. I don't mean to get you that upset. Sorry. I don't want to cause you that much grief. Blah, blah, blah. And I made the point to you in the previous video. I said, look, let's just agree to ignore each other as personalities. So just take me out of your videos, draw your equations, do your silly videos, don't mention me, okay? And then there'll be a lot less hostility in our videos to each other because it'll just be about the physics. And I'll just point out how, well, here's another crackhead doing bullshit.
Where I put these fucking weights don't matter, Ruff.
Yeah, it does matter because it completely changes the experiment. Completely. It'll function completely different if you don't have them off the center of the mass when you have the fulcrum in the middle of the lever. It has to be there. If they're not centered, then it's going to, every time the lever moves, it's moving at the wrong velocities because you've changed the distance essentially between the weights. So every time you move the lever, you do this, okay, it gets heavier on this side. And then when it goes the other way, it gets heavier on that side. Every time it lifts up, it's doing something different than it would do if you didn't screw it up. And the point is that you're not proving anything. What are you proving? You're not going to be able, again, all you have to do is Go look at the kinetic energy formula, okay? It says 1.4 the distance is the right velocity. So put the one mass at 1.4 the distance, and then show us how it balances. And it works fine.
Fuck! It's got nothing to do with the argument, you fucking scarecrow.
What was the argument? Again, I can't find the argument anywhere. I can't find what the argument is. What is your point? That you can spin a wheel fast and it won't wobble back and forth if I spin it fast enough? That proves the existence of kinetic energy? I'm sorry, it doesn't, retard. It doesn't prove a fucking thing.
Was all fucking gummage, eat your heart out. He was a good one. Not like you, you're a cunt.
Get what you fucking deserve, okay? If this is, again, my crime is to attack a nonsense theory that was never supported by physical evidence, that was just arrogantly pronounced to the world by dogmatic assholes. 25 people in the world got to decide what everybody else has to believe. It was never put on trial. The whole theory was never put on trial. There was never a fair trial between MV and MV squared. You also know by now that Newton wasn't a fucking goddamn MV squarer. He wasn't a fucking living forcer. He didn't believe in it. He wouldn't have written the third fucking law. How the fuck can you dishonest lying sacks of shit think that Newton would write the third law, equal and opposite reactions, when he's conceding that every time somebody fired a gun, a pop gun even, that the third law was blown up. It was disappeared. There was no sign of the third law, because you'd have thousands of joules going one way and you'd have 2 joules going the other way. How is that equal and opposite? If you use kinetic energy, a catapult, okay, is launching hundreds of joules and the recoil is only 15. Why would Newton write the third law if he believed in your fucking bullshit? He wouldn't have written it. There'd only be 2 laws. And clearly, why would he say right the fuck underneath the second law? Twice the force, twice the velocity. 3 times the force, 3 times the velocity. Why would he do that, you fucking liars? I mean, it's just amazing.
Doesn't matter where these fuckers are.
Yes, it does.
You say that disproves kinetic energy.
What disproves it? I'm sorry, I'm saying the law of the lever disproves it, because the locations of the velocities won't match the kinetic energy theory. The momentums that balance don't match kinetic energy theory.
I'm fucking arguing that it doesn't disprove kinetic energy. I'm not fucking arguing anything else, you stinking cunt.
What are you arguing? So I don't, again, what? You're making videos thumbing up somehow like you have demonstrated something that is critical to this controversy between momentum and kinetic energy, and then you're saying, I'm not doing a video about that. What's it a video about?
This cannot disprove this kinetic energy.
The momentum, so he's saying a balance that clearly disproves it. In a sense, there's no sign of it. The oscillator has to have the same amount of energy switching back and forth. It can't have 500 joules on one side and then only 100 joules when the other side moves. It can't. The gravity can't do that. The gravity can't make 300 joules over here and 500 joules over there. So it can't happen your way. So yes, clearly a balance proves kinetic energy nonsense, because the balance says the numbers kinetic energy says, the energy values it places on the objects moving, are clearly not right. So I said, do it with the kinetic energy numbers. And you won't do it, because you know it won't work.
Because you say, well, it's got twice the energy here. What is it supposed to do? How would it fucking react, you stupid idiot?
So, what's it supposed to do is the force it collects is the same as the other object. It takes that much force to move the other object at that momentum. That's what it demonstrates, is that the two forces have to be equal on the two sides for it to balance. And the only way that can be true is if momentum is true.
It goes that way, that goes. It can only fucking do that, you prick.
Only do what? So this is his demonstration of how the law of the lever is lying. Okay, it doesn't know what energy is. It doesn't know how to measure energy. It doesn't know how to weigh things. Yeah, right. Sure, it doesn't. So I'm surprised he left this video up. I mean, it's a day ago. What the fuck was that? Jesus, I'm gonna beat you up. Hilarious. All right, so we'll read comments, but they got to be a little bit funny. He is lucky I hit stop instead of pause as I went on the rant for another 10 minutes. Lord forgive me. He's lucky I hit stop instead of pause. Oh, well, good. Yes, we all should feel quite lucky. Alright. Oh, this green shit hasn't been here for a while. You remind me of me. Great rant. I may do a part 2. So I have explicitly requested that instead of doing rhetoric and doing this crap, just defend your theory. Just defend this idea. Explain how Leibniz was so innovative and clever. Explain how de Chardillet's denting clay was such a great idea. Explain how you can't change how much pressure you put on ice by moving quickly across it, and so you're always going to fall through thin ice. Don't fall for the lie that you can change how much pressure you put on a surface by going over it quickly. That's such a lie. Oh, fuck. Let's see. You hit the wall, I see. And as you're aware, you're not the first, though I might be the first to more hostilely express the infuriating sense of frustration he causes people. Yeah, I mean, it is all mutual, and I'm just saying you can't possibly convince me that you're the good guys because you have no integrity. I mean, all these arguments and you will concede nothing. Again, it doesn't matter. Eddington says in his own journal, I got 10% of the data quality. And you just pretend like anybody could say that, and it doesn't mean the experiment sucks. If anybody else did an experiment you didn't like, and they said, I only got 10% of the data quality, I'm sure you'd use it as an excuse to say, fuck that. But not here, because you're all hypocrites. Okay. I think he just uses debate to lure people. Oh, God. So I made all these videos, doing all this drawing, desperately wanting to talk about physics. Do they do that? No. They do this. To his channel, and doesn't really give a shite about science. So there's no commercials on my channel. I don't make any money on the channel. I mean, it's just such bullshit. In many ways, none of it is funny. Whatever this is, pretty to be good faith debater just to abuse actually good faith folks. So I don't even know what any of that means. So again, this nonsense that they're somehow the people making the reasoned physics arguments when all they do is litter the internet with gross insults. So amazing horseshit from that user. Alright, I think he's a bully, and not very honest one at that. So please quote my dishonesty. Yeah, and who did I bully? Who got bullied? Okay. What I don't like objectively about him is his ephilism. So again, that's what this is about then, or some other kind of bullshit. His physics is value neutral, although I'm quite certain he is lying. So imagine, you're just saying, what's the point of that accusation? Please, let me just hear the sentence I uttered that was a lie. Just amazing bullshit. Okay, I once tried explaining KE to him using different language he should understand, so this is just a liar. Okay, I drew a simple picture of it for him, so that's a lie, whoever this turd is, meeting his demand, but even that went straight over his head. Well, where is this picture you drew? Where is it? I was cursed, middle-fingered. Well, wait, oh, is that gonna kill you? You're such little fucking flowers, aren't you? Little snowflakes and flowers. I don't know why other people bother with continuing. Yeah, especially when you just keep losing the argument. So again, let's see if this guy has any videos. I mean, it just seems a preposterous lie that he drew anything or did anything. Yeah, just lying. There's nothing. Where's your content, fucktard? Where is it? I don't see it, fucktard. Okay. So, just disgusting. You are right. I thought I was helping perhaps those he... So he makes a video, like I said, asserting things that he knows was a mistake. He hasn't corrected the video, didn't take the video down, and he talks about confusing people. Well, that'll just confuse people, jackass. That video will just confuse people. That's all it can do. It'll either make you look stupid, or it will confuse somebody. Those are the only two options watching the video. Who are already depressed by the sound of it, whatever that means. Alright, Falwell, another one of the lying, scheming, conniving pieces of shit. As I've said in previous comments, I get frustration. I get you, frustration, Ian. I get you. So it should have been a your, of course. Ian, but the guy is a simple, whatever this is, wind up merchant. I don't know. The teeth feeds on seeing you upset. He gets a kick out of it. He ain't worth getting upset over. So again, I thrive on good physics arguments. I thrive on it. I thrive on some well-stated, well-explained engine. Oh, here's the variable that controls it. I would have loved if I could have found on the internet a video that explained the difference in the levers, right? The fulcrum at the top, the fulcrum in the middle, the fulcrum at the bottom. Not a single video that explains those differences and explains why the damn things work differently. We have to do it ourselves. But yeah, I thrive on that. Now see, nothing you people have done can I thrive on. Now there was a slight, now maybe you could go back all the way back to Piro, okay, and bring up the laser experiment. Because I hadn't thought of it. I hadn't thought of shooting a laser, a good deal of distance. A mile or something would be nice. So I tried it doing a few hundred yards. And being able to actually see the laser move, okay, as the Earth's velocity and all the relative motions change, the laser beam should actually move. And I hadn't thought of that. But then when you go to do the experiment, you realize even at just 300 meters, the laser beam's this big. You're not going to see a little millimeter change in the center in a beam that's spread that much. So that got fucked. But that's the kind of stuff you can thrive on, is stuff where you didn't think of something, somebody thought it, brought it up. Okay, that's all good stuff. Where do these assholes do anything like that? Oh, that's right, they don't. I can see you have reached boiling point, but try to stay chilled out. He is nothing, a nobody, an utter loser, and not worthy of your emotions. What I'd like you to do is explain why, if I have, and I clearly have, simulated what charges do. That is, one radiates exactly what the other one doesn't see, and this one radiates what the other one doesn't see. Okay, they can't. The opposites can't push each other, and I mean, in any way, and the sames push each other really hard. All right, and I've perfectly duplicated that with this simple 2 + 2 + 3 physics. And this asshole says it's nothing. So that's what's so obnoxious about them. They'll concede nothing. Again, and you can keep explaining, you keep talking about the history and say, well, what are you defending? Leibniz showed up and just made a claim. He didn't have any evidence. And everybody should believe it. Why? Amazing. Thanks, Mike. I'm feeling a little better now. Strange thing, I'm perhaps similar to some ways. He was headbutting his whiteboard in yesterday's video. LOL. That's right. Yeah. It's very frustrating to live on a planet of fucking assholes. I mean, you have the good news is, from your perspective, I'm the one little tiny asshole. From my perspective, yeah, it's millions and billions of assholes. Glad to hear you are feeling better. Who wants to do this? Only against his whiteboard. Would have been better against a brick wall, mind you. We have all been banging our heads against brick walls in regards to Goofy. So, useless rhetoric. Alright, so last one. Oh, Despar. Oh, talk about fibbers and liars. Okay, I feel you. His endless excuses. No, your endless incompetence. Endless incompetence. Can never, check the details. Nah, fuck that. Alright, and so another guy who's left a video up, more than one. Complete deceptions. Where he measured wrong and the experiment's a complete deception, and he just doesn't care. That's a guy defending science, a guy who leaves up a mistake and pretends it's not a mistake, pretends he doesn't know it's a mistake when he does know it's a mistake. It's giving a false impression. It's fake evidence. Okay. Endless excuses and denials, disgusting insults does make our blood boil. I've done the same, shouting and insulting him back, but remember, we're dealing with a pathological evidence denier. So again, and you're pathological evidence fakers. Okay, he is the most impossible man in the history of mankind. What will be discovered, what will be found out is I was the one who was right, and you were the ones who were completely wrong. And really, it was explained to you clearly. Again, the future knows, right? The future is going to say, well, look, he said to them, 25 times the fuel to go 5 times faster? You fuckers defended that? That's what it's going to say. I mean, in hindsight, it's going to look ridiculous. They're going to be saying, how the fuck could you defend that? It's bad if you have some slight notion of it, but you studied the physics, you thought about it, you went through it in your head, and you still thought that made some fucking sense? How the fuck could you defend a theory that says something that's stupid? I can make free momentum? You fell for that? Oh yeah, it every time it hits, if it reflects 100%, that means 200% went into the object. Huh? Vectors, vectors. Anyway. All the frustrations as a result of not being able to penetrate through the insanely thick skull of his. So again, they show no good evidence, right? I mean, nothing. No evidence that's clear and obvious. So the Mythbusters crashes the car, clear, obvious evidence, no kinetic energy. They can't show me it taking 25 times the fuel to spin anything 5 times as fast or to move anything 5 times as fast. That would be the piece of evidence. They can't produce it because it doesn't goddamn happen. And I give all these other illustrations. 99.94% of the kinetic energy destroyed in the ballistic pendulum experiment. And you can't collect any more. That's the best you can do. You can never do better than 99.94, because if you make it, if you make that number 99.8, okay, oh, you made free momentum. I mean, people suck. All right, 2 is unfortunate, all wasted effort. We have showed him the lever experiment. So in which way did you ever show me it doing what kinetic energy says equals what? Where did you show that? Where did you show the one mass moving to velocity, okay, equaling the four mass moving one? Where did you show that? Oh, that's right, you didn't. Okay. I mean, it's just such liars. Okay. So many ways now. Weights on top, below, middle, fulcrum below. So what? This is just such a lie. Okay. The best tactics is to remain calm. No, just shut the fuck up. Just quit playing around. You're not here for any good reason. You're not making these arguments for any good reason. You're not here for science. You're here just to be liars and cheaters. Okay. Because you don't like me. That's it. It's a personal vendetta bullshit. They're so obvious. Anyway, if you enjoy doing these experiments, please keep doing them. Keep covering the so-called flaws that he points out. Keep covering. What does that even mean? There are flaws. That's just a fact. And you keep pretending they're not there? No, I'm always right. And if I don't catch the flaws, you don't catch them. So in every single case, I had to point out the flaws, right? Their own people wouldn't do, oh, you measured wrong. No, they wouldn't do it. I had to do it. Okay. So anyway, different more time again. I don't expect him to ever be persuaded until I see something called evidence. Yeah, why should I be persuaded? Why should I be persuaded by a theory that can't survive any of these tests? Why should I be persuaded that, water going twice as fast, but half the volume has twice the energy? Why should I be persuaded that's true? Why? Show me. Show me. Which you can't do. That's what I'm doing right now. I have covered all the flaws he has been pointing out and demonstrated it doesn't make any difference. Result, he's ignoring the evidence. So again, what evidence? It's not, like I said, there hasn't been a case where you haven't fucked it up. And I've said it already. We've done this how many times now? 56 times. I have to waste my time pointing out how you fucked the experiment, and then you don't repeat it once you get to that point where I explained how you cheated. You don't redo it. Redo the milk carton one, where you cheated. Redo it with the milk carton in the right position, so they both of them get hit with the same percentage of the original energy they had. Okay, because with distance they're both losing energy at different rates. So do it honestly, all right, and then see what your results are, liar. These people are just such liars. Okay. Take care, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Get what you deserve, you scum. Alright, thanks, Dispar. Let's see. Manage not to break my sheet of polystyrene. Yeah, that's got to be 50 cents. But it's all about the science we make along the way. So that's Piero. Hilarious. I mean, just hilarious. I mean, what is that? Let's see. Can you be more clear? Hilarious. Why would you ask it? Why? So you're inviting him to say something? He's a fucking lunatic. He's soused. Okay, forget it. He can't do anything rational. Alright. So that was just kind of a waste of time, but whatever. Everything involving human beings and conversations about reality is a waste of time, right? Because humans are just religious kooks and they don't want to know the truth. Just a fact. So it is probably a job I'm not going to finish until I'm long dead. Yeah, sadly. I'll do most of my best work after I'm dead. Sadly. Does suck. It sucks being right, and you gotta just accept that, you're not gonna get anything for it. Nope, nothing. Just a lot of grief. Alright, so till the next time and such. So forth and whatnot.